absolutely one of the best books I read this year. It would have shown up in my top 10 list.
Hi! What are you doing?
If you like baking, if you like snacks, if you like treats, this book is gonna make you like want to bake. I cried a lot in this book. Oh, interesting. What a wild month this has been. Not a lot of reading, but lots of stuff going on. I'm coming at you from the future of this vlog to tell you what I actually wound up reading in this video. In this vlog, I am reading 2,024 pages exactly by the end of the year-ish. This is a second attempt at the intro because the first attempt at the intro, I tried to do math on camera, which went probably as well as you could expect it went. I don't know how to use technology. Why am I doing it like this? This is so complicated. Okay. How do I? Oh my god. I can't figure it out. I don't know why that happened. I did indeed have to spend literally hours finding the exact right books that would fit into this 2,024 pages. Math is hard. I am an English major. Math is hard. But here are the books that I wound up reading in this video. We're starting with Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This is 475 pages long, this particular edition, which is so pretty. It's the Fancy Pants Kickstarter edition. This is a cozy fantasy about a girl who lives right next to an emerald sea. She loves collecting cups and she's got a crush on the Lord's son. Essentially, something happens to the Lord's son and she determines that she is the only person who is willing to go after him, and so she goes on an adventure across the Emerald Sea to save him. Then I'll be reading The Golden Spoon by Jessa Maxwell. This is 288 pages. This is a murder mystery set in a cooking show environment, but somebody dies. The third book is Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier. This is 669 pages, so this is the heftiest book that we'll be reading. This is a fairy tale retelling of the Brothers Grimm story Six Swans. So obviously swans are very prominent. We've actually talked about it on this channel before in a different video. We are following this young girl who is very connected to the fairies in the forest. She is the daughter of the forest. She has 6 older brothers and their mom died a few years before and their dad is not doing too hot. Her dad goes away to war and comes back completely bewitched by this sorceress who quickly installs herself in the daily workings of their lives, starts controlling all of the kids, and they try to band together to stop her, and that does not go very well. And our main character, Sorsha, must undergo what is essentially a classic impossible fairy tale quest in order to save her brothers and her family and her land. The fourth book that I'm reading in this vlog is Bad Fruit by Ella King. This is 320 pages long. This is a very literary thriller about the very strange codependent relationship between this mother and daughter. It's a very like fraught relationship. There's a lot going on in this book, but it's about the lies that happen within a dysfunctional family. That Fruit was like pretty dark, and so I did wind up finishing off this vlog reading Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, which rounded off our 2,024 pages with 272. I wanted to bring it back to like a cozy fantasy that wasn't super plot heavy. All I knew about this book was that it was just like all vibes, no plot. We're just in this other world where Piranesi is pretty much the only character, and we're just wandering through this like otherworldly space in this very fantastical story. Those are the 5 books that I'm reading. I'll maybe show you a little bit of that first intro that I did just so you can get some of the chaos, the absolute chaotic feelings I was experiencing at the beginning of this whole thing. Hello, welcome to whatever this chaotic vlog is gonna be, featuring holiday laundry. Get the butt out of frame. So this vlog was initially supposed to be like a really cozy winter reading vlog where I was like post-finals week and just like really trying to recover from the brutal semester that I just had and like the awful mental health stuff that I've been dealing with. And then I made my Christmas plans. I have basically every single day spoken for from December 15th through January 2nd. We are going on 5 different planes. We are decorating for Christmas. We are Christmas shopping. Lots of different locations, so at least you'll see outside of this tiny little apartment, so that's exciting. Come along for the ride. Actually, we are going to be decorating for Christmas today, so you're probably going to be seeing a montage of Christmas decorating today. exhausted. I spent the entire morning Christmas shopping. I was so planning on getting work done today, and now I am so drained from just like being in the mall and walking around for hours. So I'm gonna make a little chai. What is the point of not having microwave safe mugs? I absolutely spent way too much money, but my lovely partner has been dealing with my depressed, unstable ass and has been fully taking care of me for like the last 2 months. So they deserve it. It's fine. That's a problem for 2024, Bella. Let me show you what I got. I'm really excited about this. We need like new blankets, like throw blankets for the couch. I talked about like knitting big ones that we could pick the colors of. They picked out this color and I'm gonna knit them, hand knit them a blanket. I think we're gonna do that. Maybe I'll do that now. Before we do the little book haul, I got my mom and my partner, I'm just like propping you up on different things around the apartment. So I got my mom and my partner both rings. So I got this one for my partner, which I think is really pretty. They have their wedding ring from me, but they don't have like any other jewelry that they really wear. And I feel like this is their vibe. So I hope that they like it. And then I got a ring for my mom. She asked for like really simple rings that she could wear every day. So this is the one that I picked up. I'm really happy with how it looks. I also got us a cute little game. It's a tradition in my family that we buy games and play games every Christmas. And so I'm keeping the tradition alive. This is like a fun little game called Love Letter. I got it off of TikTok. Someone recommended it. It was the only one I could find in Canada. It's 20 bucks. Sure, but why not? I don't know what it is, but thank you to whoever. I'll put the real here. And then I feel so stupid. You know how there's a sriracha shortage? Well, my partner freaking loves sriracha. So does that mean I paid $15 fucking to buy them OG sriracha? Yes, I'm part of the problem. The first thing, oh, hi baby. Oh, say hi to the camera. The reason I'm able to show you all of this in the apartment is because my partner just left to go and be with their family for a few days. I am joining them in like 4 days. My dad is coming here to watch this lovely bean. I'm going to go to Portland and then we're both gonna come back, do Christmas with my dad, Christmas just the two of us, and then I'm heading to my mother's who lives in Indiana, and then I will be there until New Year's. It's a whole thing. It's so busy. So I needed to get all of my Christmas presents done before my dad gets here. That is why I had to do all of it today. And so of course me, I am the book fairy, the book queen. So I got books for pretty much everybody. Okay, I found this. It's a one-piece color walk compendium. It looks like this is the 9th one, and it's just like a bunch of his drawings, but in color. I also got them a cute little manga. I got them the Zelda Twilight Princess first volume, because we always get books for each other, of course. Then I got the reading list by Sarah Nisha Adams for my mother-in-law. She really liked House in the Cerulean Sea and Tinfoil Butterfly because she read it after I watched it in my vlog, which is very sweet, and she loved it. This one gave me like really similar vibes, and it's about this unlikely pairing. This young girl is working in a library over the summer, and this older widower is like trying to reconnect with society after his wife has died and he like became a recluse for a couple of years, and so he's like trying to connect to his granddaughter. And she finds this reading list of, it's like 7 or 9 books. These two connect while they read through this list of books, and I just thought it was so sweet and so wholesome. It put a huge smile on my face, and so I think she's gonna really like it. My dad is going through I don't want to say midlife, it's not like a midlife crisis, but he's going through like a career crisis. And so he put a bunch of like religious self-help books on his list, and this was the one that I liked the best. Also because it's like really nice, like it's a really nice copy. It's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. And the back just says in really large letters, how to stay emotionally healthy and spiritually alive in the chaos of the modern world. Not one I would pick up for myself, but I love my dad, so I hope that this is not problematic. I also got him like a cute little green bullet journal. Finally, the book that I'm going to be reading with my bestie, my best girl, Throne of the Fallen. We decided that we would pick up like hardcover copies of the book physically as if they were like our presents to each other. So I did pick that up today. And it is really pretty. So even if I hate it, like the cover is so pretty, I don't really care. I'm like just not feeling like I want to do anything right now, and I don't really want to start a book right now. I know I'm a booktuber and I'm supposed to be reading all the time, but you know, sometimes I don't really feel like reading. And this is one of those times. And I think I might start this blanket. I don't know, we'll figure it out, okay? I'm gonna watch some Christmas movies. I'm gonna watch this awful looking Hallmark knockoff Falling for Christmas Lindsay Lohan rom-com. I think this is gonna be absolutely terrible and I'm genuinely quite excited for it. So we're gonna do that and I'm gonna start on this blanket. Hopefully it goes well, wish me luck.
Hi! What are you doing?
Absolute trash, and so I am going to watch another. Also, this is turning out so well. It's so plushy. Like, I cannot even express how cozy this is going to be. It is really fun to make. It's super easy. I think it's gonna turn out really good. Okay, so that's 4. It's a little bigger than I thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna make some dinner, and figure out what I want to do. Cozy though. Here is the final pasta dish. This is actually the dish I made in my last vlog where I showed you guys what I was eating, and it's delicious. I highly recommend it. I'll put the link to this recipe in the description too, why not? And I'm gonna finish this movie, which is much cuter and way better than the first one. There's like stakes, there's heart, there's care. I'm like invested in this one and love hard, so I'm gonna finish it. I'll get back to you with my final thoughts. I swear to God, I've seen like 10 movies that start like this. I am vibing with this so much. This movie is so cute. Word to the wise, don't watch cute rom-coms the first night that your partner isn't with you, because then you're gonna be crying in an apartment by yourself. Yeah. Is a friends to lovers, and that's just the cutest trope. I'm sorry. I love enemies to lovers is my favorite, but friends to lovers is the one that gets me going. It's so good. It's a little Jesus-y. A little Jesus-y. I did finish this fucking blanket, and I am so proud of myself, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like now. I mean, it's so cool. It's not perfect, but oh my gosh, I just can't believe I made a blanket in what was essentially 3 movies. Well, this is probably my last update for the night. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of my day now that I'm sad and definitely should not watch any more romantic comedies.
Today we'll be practicing a full body yoga flow with mobility moves and stretches for all levels.
Hi, good morning. So I started Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson this morning, and now I finally know what it's actually about. This is like so cozy. It's so charming. I had a smile just like perpetually on my face for the first 100 or so pages. It's a super quick read. Like this is about a very sweet girl, Tress, who is 16 years old, has very unruly hair, absolutely adores her cup collection, which like same, and she lives on this place called The Rock, which is surrounded by an ocean, but not an ocean of water, an ocean of heavy dust falling from the moon. Moon dust. The dust is really, really dangerous if you get water on it, like literally at all. It sprouts vines. Everyone has to be like really, really careful, because if like a little bit of dust gets in their mouth, they'll get like vines sprouting out of their eyeballs. So it's like cozy, but it's also like there's a little bit of charming body horror in here, which is the best kind of cozy. And then she is fully in love with this boy. What on earth is his name? Charlie. His name is Charlie. God, I am so bad at remembering names from books. It is a wonder that I am an English major. She is from a poor family. She washes windows in order to help her family make ends meet because her dad is injured and can't work anymore. She is fully in love with the Duke's son. His dad finds out, whisks him away to try and get him betrothed to a princess from another land. But on the way, Charlie gets sent away, kidnapped, off on a dangerous, unwinnable suicide quest, kind of. Tress decides that nobody else is going to save him, so she has to do it, even though she does not want to. And then she goes on this adventure, and there have already been smugglers and pirates. It's a full, like, very fantasy feeling book. It's super charming. I'm just blowing through it. I love my, like, sweeping, epic, heartbreaking war fantasies. I really do. But this, where everything is written just, like, kind of silly and the narrator talks to the reader, it's all super digestible and super accessible, and it's just, like, nice to read. And the stakes are, like, high enough that you care, but not so high that, like, you're actually scared for her. What a great way to start off this vlog. It is noon, a little later than I intended, but that's fine. I have some emails to write. I think I'll dedicate tomorrow to like packing, and oh my god, I can't believe we're already there. I'm gonna grab my cat, we're gonna snuggle up, she is very cozy, and yeah, we're gonna spend some time in this cute little chair. Still watching Stardew Valley videos 9 hours later. Yes, I am. And I'm finally going to fold my laundry that you saw at the very beginning of this video. Time to pack. I'm too tired to be doing all of this. I love this fish. Hi. Oh my god. It has been a minute. And this is like the first time I've had a free minute, so I'm gonna give you a quick update. We're in Portland with the in-laws. And I'm like putting on warmer clothes. They have a cabin by a lake, or not a lake, by a river. It's so pretty out here. I have finished 2 books since I last saw you. I finished Tress of the Emerald Sea. Super cute, 4 stars. I like genuinely really loved it. It's a pirate story. She goes on a ship. I should have known because it's like about seas, like the oceans. I feel like I can tell that it was written during COVID. Some of the humor and some of the language is like, as I struggle into these sweatpants. Some of the humor is like, okay, we've been talking about this joke for like 3 pages. I'd love to get back to the story. It kind of reminds me of T. Kingfisher's The Twisted Ones, where I felt like the humor was like a little bit too much, but it was a really easy read because of that. It was really cozy. It was really magical. I really enjoyed it. It's a book that if I was ever just like in a bad mood, I would just pick it up and like read it in an afternoon. It's not very long. I love Tress's character arc. I love who she becomes. I love all the pirate stuff. Give me more pirate books. If you guys have pirate book recommendations, give me more. I'm like craving pirate content. I can blame One Piece for that probably, the One Piece live action show, because that was so good. The other book that I read, I started it on the second plane because it takes a million years to get from Toronto to Portland. I started The Golden Spoon by Jessa something, which is like so it's a murder mystery set on a baking show. We're following 6 contestants and 2 hosts, and it's like the 10th anniversary of this baking show, and the producers are trying to revitalize it. Before it was like a one-woman show, and they want to give it a little bit more youthful energy. So they bring in this like shitty man who's like known for being really mean to contestants and stuff, and she's really unhappy about it, the woman host. But it's a murder mystery, so it opens and like we know somebody dies, but we don't know who dies, which is my favorite thing in murder mysteries. And of course we don't know who the killer is. This is going to be a very quick review. I mean, it's like a silly little murder mystery. It's not like the most important book I've ever read, but it was really fun. The food, oh my god, if you like baking, if you like snacks, if you like treats, this book is gonna make you like want to bake, want to like salivate. It's so, I mean, everything sounded so amazing. Lift you up one more maybe. That's better. So what I really like about it, the person doesn't die until like 80% into the book. For most of it, it is just character work, and something that is so cool. We get perspectives from each of the 6 contestants, but they're all first person. So every chapter is like super, super short. It's only a couple of pages long, but we get it from every character's like first person perspective. So you're in this person's head. It really like just encouraged a lot of that character work that I really love. It encouraged me to want to speculate about who dies and why, because everyone has like a secret. They're all like really sympathetic. Like you understand where all of them are coming from. They all have different things going on. They're all on this baking show for a different reason. I just like genuinely thought it was so well done and so well crafted and so well put together. I think I'm gonna give it like 4.5 stars. Like I had such a fabulous time reading this. What a great 2 books to start this vlog with. Those are your updates. Enjoy all the vlog footage, and I will check back in with you when I've read something or we're doing something or I have a minute, because it's Christmas time and I don't really have a minute. I hope you're having a good time. Bye.
That's helpful.
Partner, that's
Smiley face is helpful. Makes you feel safe.
Oh my god.
Hi, it's like 2 a.m. I forgot to tell you about the ending. The ending to Golden Spoon is good. I guessed it. And it is actually the ending that made me go down to like 4.5 stars from what could have easily been a 5-star read for me, because I felt like once you knew who like the true antagonist was, which is pretty clear because the writing is really good, it's really obvious like why they die. And I don't have a problem with that. There was like a second twist to the ending that I didn't see coming, and I did really enjoy that. It's a little bit predictable, but I don't think that's a bad thing, because it's not even really about the mystery for most of the book. It's just about these characters and like their dynamics and what they're working through and how they're working through it and how their connections with each other like make that better. And I just thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. But that was the one thing I wanted to add. last time I fully updated you, I was in Portland. It's been like a week since then, maybe slightly less than a week. Now I'm in Indiana at my mom's house, so we're in my mom's office filming while she wraps presents in the corner. Pro tip, if your mom offers to run you a bath with a glass of red wine on the day that you flew in and had to get up at 4 in the morning because you flew to Indiana to see her, let her, because it's gonna be the best bath you've ever had. It's gonna be wonderful, okay? Okay, so let's talk about books now. That was my mother. I started Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier. Her name sounds probably a lot prettier when you don't say it like that. As it is with a good fairy tale retelling, it is very melancholy, it's very bleak, it's very magical. I think what I really like about fairy tale retellings is that the magic is so ingrained in the way of life for people. Like, it's so ingrained in the world that it feels normal, and it's described in these really nonchalant, really simple terms that makes you feel like you were in another world. And that's something that this is doing really, really well. So in the story, we are following Sorcia. She is the youngest of 7 children, but she has 6 brothers, so she is the only girl. Her mom died in childbirth with her. Her dad is has become a very angry, stoic, stern, quite aggressive person because of it. He doesn't have a lot of joy in his life. She has really solid relationships with all of her brothers. Her brothers essentially raised her. I'm about 27% into the book, so I'd say the first 20% or so is really just centered on establishing her character, establishing the world, giving us some sense of the stakes of how her dad goes out on war campaigns and who the enemies are and who they actually are, and how all of the boys, how all the family members fit into it. And the fairy tale retelling really starts when her dad gets kind of sorcery level seduced into marrying this evil woman. She's very quickly taken over the whole household, and this very stern man that is Sorcia's father has basically lost a lot of his agency and a lot of his power in the household. He gets married very, very quickly. It is a fairy tale retelling, and I've told the story before, so if you know the story, you know what happens, but I kind of don't want to spoil it for you, what she does and what the rest of the story is going to be about, because I think it's worth reading to find out. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I found it was a little bit hard to get into at first. The writing style wasn't quite as flowery or magical as I expected it to be because the magic is so nonchalant and so a part of the world. It got to a point where there was an emotional moment and I was tearing up while I was reading it. I was like, oh shit, I really care about this girl. I really care about what's going on in these characters. It kind of eases you into the story and eases you into these really complex familial dynamics, which I love. You guys know that I love that. I feel very lost in the world, and I'm so happy that it's a trilogy. We are gonna do Christmas presents with each other, me and my mom, and then we're gonna go to the bookstore. I hope you're reading good things. I hope you had a happy new year, and I will catch up with you in a little bit.
Do you want me to pretend to film something so it looks behind the scenes?
Well, I'm already filming, so now I have that on it. And here we are. All right, show me how happy you are.
Thing is full of them. How has no one bought this yet?
How's it going? We are packing up. All of the things are ready to go. We are driving back to Toronto today from Indiana, which is about somewhere between a 10 to 12 hour drive. So that's super fun. But it's also good because it is December 30th and I am still only 30% of the way into Daughter of the Forest. But I did want to say the story is a very classic fairy tale. So Sorcia has to perform an impossible quest, essentially, in order to save her brothers from the thing that they are dealing with. That's what the story is about, and I'm very much enjoying it. I'll probably update you tomorrow once we get into Toronto. I have to go bring my stuff down to the car. I think we're going to Niagara Falls. I think they want to stop there on our way up. So that should be really fun. What a wild month this has been. Not a lot of reading, but lots of stuff going on.
Don't call me on my shit.
That's literally the last time that happened, you got married.
Hi, it's January 1st. I'm not done reading books, and I'm definitely hungover. Don't know why I thought I could read 2,000 pages while I was visiting with like my 3 different extensions of my family. But here we are today. I also sprained my ankle yesterday doing something stupid, so I am now not doing anything today, which is good because we have exactly 592 pages left. So it's not quite 2024 pages before 2024, but I think it's okay to like end on January 1st. I think it's fine. Let's fucking talk about Daughter of the Forest. What a way to end the year. This happens every year for me where like one of the last books or the last book that I read of the year is like one of my absolute favorites. This year was no different. Daughter of the Forest was fucking fantastic. 5 stars. Absolutely one of the best books I read this year. It would have shown up in my top 10 list had I not filmed that before I did all this crazy Christmas stuff. So the plot extends from this impossible task that she's doing. And while she's doing this impossible task, something really awful happens to her. And just a note, definitely check the trigger warnings if that's something that you need to do. I cried a lot in this book. I cried as much as I've cried in the Robin Hobb books. I spent the entire day in the car yesterday pretty much in tears. It's so sad and it's so magical and it's so nuanced. It's like such an intricate story, but let me go back to the plot. Yeah, so something really awful happens to her. She's no longer safe in the forest, and the fairies who are helping her out basically guide her away from where she's been staying, and she falls into the company of these 3 British men. And something that I didn't realize at the beginning of this story that the story becomes about is about the political tensions between Britain and Ireland. So she is Irish and her family is Irish, and the wars that they are fighting are with the British. So she winds up in the company of these 3 British men who are very genuine and very lovely and like some of the best people. The fairies basically like put her in one of these men's protection, and he takes her back to Britain where she has to continue her impossible task in a completely new environment where everyone thinks that she is a barbarian, a savage, a witch, etc. And that progresses the story forward, of course, which means there's also this really sweet romance. And while I do think that the age difference is a little bit verging on a little icky, based off of the consent and the communication between the 2 characters and how the romance like develops, I actually think it's okay. I love Red. He is probably one of my favorite love interests. I just was so blown away by this story. Parts of this book, like there was a point during the climactic scene where I like physically like I gasped. I was so surprised. It just did everything that I wanted it to. You're gonna cry so much, but it's so worth it. I just thought it was so beautiful. So Daughter of the Forest is really focused on like swans. Swan imagery is like really prominent. I was reading that when we were driving back to Toronto from Indianapolis. We stopped in Niagara Falls and we actually drove past this whole Christmas light setup of a bunch of swans. I just had to say that, and I totally forgot to say that because I did to force my stepdad to turn around and drive in Niagara Falls traffic so that I could get footage of the swan so I could show you some beautiful synchronicities. So excited to go back to that book. What a fucking fabulous way to end 2023 with a new favorite. So we are gonna start Bad Fruit. Let me figure out what the hell this thriller is about. Oh, interesting. Oh. Okay, this might be a little bit more intense than I thought it was going to be. So this is about a mother and daughter relationship. So we're following this girl who just graduated from high school. When her mom discovers that her husband is having an affair, the only thing that calms her down is a glass of perfectly spoiled orange juice served by her daughter, who must also taste it. And so they just both start having weird flashbacks and hallucinations because they're drinking this like spoiled orange juice together. I don't know what that means, but it does say at the end of this read up, a masterful exploration of mothers and daughters, inherited trauma, and the race to break its devastating cycle. Bad Fruit will leave readers breathlessly questioning their own notions of femininity, race, and redemption. I don't know what this is. I was totally expecting something else. This is gonna be very weird. I'm excited. So I'm 26% into this, and I like it a lot, honestly. It's written really well. It's really visually engaging. The writing is definitely unique. I couldn't tell you exactly, I can't really pinpoint my thoughts about it yet, but there's something about it that really gives you a clear image of what's going on. We're following this girl Lily and her abusive mother. It opens right in the middle of the action, so it's when she immediately finds out that her husband is cheating on her with her son's ex-wife, which is fucked up. Lily herself is a mama's girl. She turns herself into the perfect girl that her mom wants her to be. She pretends to like the same things that her mom likes. She does all of the placating. At first I thought it was a codependent relationship, but it's definitely just an abusive one, where this girl, Lily, is really just trying to muddle her way through until she can leave for Oxford, which she is attending in October. So she has like 8 weeks of suffering through this chaos until she can finally leave this house and start to become herself and who she is. However, as I said in the synopsis that I read, she is having flashbacks. She's just figured out at 26% that these flashbacks are not her own. I think it's really interesting. I really like the way that it's dealing with these topics. I think it's really nuanced. I think it's understanding the complex nature of domestic abuse and familial love. It's actually reminding me weirdly, or not so weirdly, about Jeanette McCurdy's memoir about her mom. This like tension between hate and love, the struggle to become your own person while still wanting this mom to care deeply about you and to love you and think the best of you. I think it's really interesting. It's really well done. It's not really paced like a thriller. It feels more like a lit fic almost in tone and style, but I really like it. I think the writing is impeccable. Bad Fruit. Turns out Ella King, I want to get this right, is an award-winning writer who has worked as a corporate lawyer and for anti-human trafficking and domestic violence prevention charities. This book is not a fun thriller. There's nothing trippy going on. There's nothing magical realist going on. It is a story about domestic abuse and generational trauma that is very explicitly described. The uncoverings of everything that happens are awful. They are devastating. They're very well written. They It's not an easy book to read. I'll just tell you that because my camera's gonna die. I think it was really wonderful and it surprised me, and it was incredibly well written and very lovingly written. It reminds me a little bit of My Dark Vanessa, where the complexities of the situation were really clear and were examined in a way that I think was useful. But this is not a fun thriller. This is a lit fic about a fucked up family and what it takes to break out of that. And it sucks. This book is fantastic. I think it's really good and I think you could use it as a resource, but I really wish I had checked the trigger warnings on it before I went into it today, because it would have been really nice to know what I was getting myself into. I'm glad I didn't finish with this book. This book and Daughter of the Forest, oh my god, I need a break. So I'm hoping against all hope that Piranesi is not going to make me feel that way and is going to feel magical and fun and cozy, but I don't know enough about it to know if it's going to do that or not. I'm gonna take a bath. I'm hoping that will help ease the pain in my ankle and my knee. I'll see you soon. So I did this with my last vlog, where I did this with the last book that I read in the vlog, which was Tinfoil Butterfly. I read and finished Piranesi without telling you anything about it. Let's talk about that. The reason I didn't update you at all was because as I was reading through this book, it became something I really didn't expect it to be, and I think that that discovery is really worth experiencing for yourself. Honestly, most of what happens in this book would be a spoiler for me to tell you, because I think going into it blind makes the reveal so much better. Piranesi. This book is a very magical fantasy land where we only have two characters. We have Piranesi, who lives in this seemingly infinite place of rooms and halls and pillars and ocean. He's very much a solitary figure. The only other character that we see is called the Other, as he is the other person who inhabits this world. And those are the only people who inhabit this world. Piranesi says pretty early on that there are only 15 people in the world, including himself and the Other, and the other 13 are all dead. The Other is like a very research-oriented person. He's very quiet. He stays in a space that's totally separate from Piranesi, so Piranesi only sees him a couple of times a week when they meet and like talk about what they've discovered. He's clearly trying to unravel some kind of mystery. He's not very nice to Piranesi, but he's kind of all Piranesi has. I went into this book feeling like it was very much no plot, just vibes. I've only heard people say how much they loved it, how fantastic it was, but I didn't know anything about the plot. Now I know why I don't know anything about the plot. It's because if I tell you anything about the plot, it ruins the book. Suffice to say, I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. It was the perfect like ending for this video, ending with something that was just like really quiet, just like an interesting mystery, because there is a mystery that you are unraveling, and it is really fun to like think through. It's also written in an epistolary format, so everything is just from Piranesi's journals, and that's the only way that we get any information. I find sometimes epistolary novels can be a little bit dull. Susanna Clarke did a great freaking job, like so good. This is just 7 minutes of me telling you that I didn't know what to expect going into this book and I liked it. So it's not like a super solid review for you to end on, but I did like it and I do think you should read it. I think I'd give it like 4.25 stars, maybe? Piranesi, I don't know if I would actually call it cozy fantasy. They're cousins. It's cousins to cozy fantasy. And I really feel like now I need to read her big chunky book that I always see everywhere. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, I think maybe it's time for me to read that because I really did like her writing. Okay, I've been talking about books for probably a long time. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. All of these books were great. When does that ever happen? It's perfect. I'm so glad that that was how this end of the year video turned out. Thanks for bearing with me and my erratic schedule. You are part of my 2024 end of the year. You are part of my 2024 beginning of the year. I want to hear about your plans for the 2024 reading year. I don't have any plans for the 2024 reading year as of yet. Really just keep reading good books. I'm starting this year off with just like banger after banger. Obviously, we would just love to keep continuing reading absolute bangers. Now I've definitely been talking for too long, so I will say goodbye. I'll see you in my next video.